for today's video, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about how I budget and talk to you guys about the expense tracker that I've been using. A lot of you guys wanted to know in the last video, and I wasn't being secretive or purposely leaving that out. I haven't had this new camera for that long, and I'm not sure how long it lets you film without cutting you off. And I felt that the last video was like getting towards 15 minutes. I could just tell I had been talking forever. So I decided to cut that one off and just make this video separate to avoid talking to my camera for like 20 minutes and it not even being recording. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I just also wanted to make something clear about the last video and something to just keep in mind. You can save money no matter how much money you make, and you also have to keep in mind the cost of living in California is so much more expensive. My 2 tips for budgeting that I think will help you out the most is to cater this to yourself, make it work for you, whatever dollar amount you want, but every single paycheck, make a promise to yourself that a certain percentage of that paycheck is going to go into your savings, and do that with every single paycheck. Whether it's going to be $1 or $100, just every single paycheck save that amount of money. And number 2, what I've been doing is I've only been giving myself a little bit of a budget to buy things every month that are not necessities. So no like huge shopping sprees every single month. I've given myself a dollar amount, whatever of that dollar amount that I don't use, I can kind of roll it over into the next month. That being said, if I want something that's a little bit more expensive, I'm gonna have to hold out on shopping that month. That is just what I've been doing, and I think that that's a great way to start budgeting and to help you. So you're gonna have to, like I said, cater it to whatever amount you're making, but also don't give yourself an unrealistic budget. Save as much as you possibly can. On to the expense tracker that I'm using. This is 100% not sponsored, and that's also why I wanted to make this video separate, because there's a lot that I want to say about expense trackers and things like that. So I personally am using Wally. It's W-A-L-L-Y. If I can find a link to it, I'll put it down below, but I just like went into the app store and searched it. So that is what I'm using, and I basically was looking for an expense tracker, and I found an article on Forbes, and if I can find that article, I'll link it down below. But it was just like the top 10 to 20 expense trackers, what they did, how much they cost, you know, so you can tailor it to yourself. But for me personally, I was looking for something that was free. I really don't like paying for apps. That's another thing that I feel like is kind of like, can start adding up and become a waste of money if you're paying for too many apps. The only thing I pay for is Apple Music every month because I really like listening to music in the car and at the gym, and I find that it's a really great deal. So I wanted a free app. I wanted something that did not link to my bank accounts. Now this is personal preference, and this is just me, honesty hour. I've been contacted by an app before that is an expense tracker. They offered me a lot of money to sponsor a video, and I actually declined it because I do not take sponsorships that I personally wouldn't use for myself. And it's your personal preference. I saw some people suggesting this app on my last video. However, I don't really think it's a good idea to have an expense tracker attached to your bank. You're giving an app permission to have all of your banking information. It's not like getting a stolen credit card. If you get your information stolen because you put it into that app, or if someone hacks into the database, they have all of your bank account information. So again, personal preference. If you're okay with that, then go for it. Again, I'm not trying to discourage anyone. I'm just kind of trying to shed light on the fact that when you agree and accept terms to certain things, you give up certain rights, or you also are, you know, basically saying that they're not responsible if you lose any of your banking information. So I just wanted an expense tracker that didn't go into my banking information, so Wally was it for me. And another great thing that Wally does is at the end of the month, you can get it and it will personally like download everything into an Excel spreadsheet. So that's great if you need to file taxes. For me, I have to like file all my taxes on my own and things like that. So I needed an Excel spreadsheet. So I would show you guys a pull-up on my phone, but again, don't want to give you guys all my personal information, but it's super simple to enter things into Wally. You just hit the plus sign and you can even add the location. So at the end of the month, it shows you like how much money you spent here, like how much money you spent on fast food, how much money you spent at the grocery store, how much money you spent on clothes, how much your work expenses were versus your personal expenses and all of that. And then it also has a place where you can add in your income. I also find this to be a better way because, as I mentioned before, the other apps that kind of like go into your bank account information and do it all for you, you're not physically entering each item that you buy in. So again, I feel like that is defeating the purpose for me. Like for me, having to go and like enter in my purchases, which I've gotten into the habit now, which is as soon as I buy something, I'll enter it in right there. That alone has adjusted my spending because I swipe my card, like my debit card, credit card, whatever, but physically entering it in there and seeing like, oh, I spent this much money. It also, like I said, it gives you a daily budget. So that budget will either be based upon, let's say like you made $100 for that month. You can put in $100 and it will tell you how much money you can spend every single day to stay within that $100 budget. But if you want to save 50 of those dollars, you just put in the little thing, you slide it over, you say you want to save $50, and it will tell you how much money you can spend every single day to reach that goal. It will also tell you at the top if you have spent over your budget for that day. It will be like overspent by this much. So it just really keeps me in track. Again, it's free. I haven't had any problems with it. And again, like I said, it's just something that you have to like get in the mindset of entering everything in. But also because I am entering everything in, I'm kind of like, I want to cut back on the spending just so I don't have to like enter things in all throughout the day. But it's definitely become a big habit of mine and it has kept me in track so much. I've only been using it for about 3 months now, but just the changes alone in my spending habits from using the app in general, it's just crazy. And it's really easy. It breaks down everything for you. I know someone mentioned in the last video they keep a bullet journal. You're amazing. I just don't really have the time to sit there and figure out and do all the calculations on my own. The app works super fast, so I would highly recommend downloading it. Like I said, it's free. I've had no problems with it, but I will also link the Forbes article down below just in case you guys are looking for something else or you want to pay for one of them or you're okay with giving your banking information. You know, it's up to you. I just personally don't think that that's a good idea, and I just don't see it as beneficial as physically entering it yourself, because when I'm physically entering it, I'm seeing the deduction immediately, or I'm seeing the addition of income immediately. I'm seeing that dollar amount of how much I'm going to be able to spend that day. So again, like I said, that alone has just like really kept me in check. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. And if you have any more videos that you want me to do about budgeting or saving money, if you guys want me to do an in-depth video about shopping and things like that, keeping your shopping under control, how to resell your clothes to make money and anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.